Hello, are you ready for a Stampin' Up! Kit? This is Jilly Bling. Today's project is a kit, and in the kit, it's a birthday card organizer kit, and this is how it comes. And inside the kit, you get tear tape and the organizer, 8 of each cards. And there's one that's a little bit more masculine and then one with flowers on it. And then the organizer. So if you are a non-stamper, or if you have somebody who has said, oh, I love your cards, I wish I could do that, this would be a great Christmas gift or a birthday gift, because everything you need, it's all inclusive. Everything you need is in here. Dimensionals, glue dots, tear tape, cards, envelopes, plus the organizer. So that's today's project. I have one already opened. I'm not going to open this one because I'm sure someone will want to do this. So let me show you what it looks like. Oh, and the code is 161056. Okay, so I already opened mine. And I did one of each card, and I started with the organizer, just doing a little bit on it. In it comes this piece of chipboard, which I would just naturally throw away. But if you're on a camping trip, or if you're watching little ones' sports games, you could pull this out. This is a great thing to stamp on. So I did stamp on it a little bit. So let me show you what's in here. So of course the cards, and you know I can't just do cards simple. So to me this looks like Cottage Rose. So I pulled out the Cottage Rose stamp set. And doesn't this flower here look similar to that flower? So I'm using this set for the words on the inside. It's going to be fab. And I stamped the flower. And I tried to color it as they did on here. And you know how I am with abstract. It challenges the heck out of me, but I think it's close enough. But I just added a little something inside, and then on the envelope added just a little something there. And these are printed. Look how cute. So we'll make one of these today. And then the other card is, I tried to make it a little bit more masculine because the instructions say to put these little gems on it, these sparkly gems, and to me those seem girly. So I left them off and I added matte dots. I added 3 of those. I added the ribbon, and this is something new. Hand-drawn dots. This will come out January 5th in the mini catalog. So you're like, well, it's not like full-on dots. I sprinkled it with embossing powder. And then I had such a good time doing that, I did a little bit on the inside. And I had such a good time doing that, I did a little bit on the outside, just to bring it all together. And if you're like, what are these words? Yes! My yesterday pre-order from the upcoming mini catalog came in. And this was just sitting there, and I thought, these are perfect words for this card. Because on the outside, happiest of birthday. And there's a couple of things that would work good for birthdays in this Something Fancy set. Something Fancy is a bundle. It comes with, oh, they're not handy, dies that cut out these words. And the dies, in the old catalog, there were a lot of different frame type dies, and I missed them. It's like we don't have as many. The the dies that come with this stamp set as a bundle perfectly fill the need. They're great. So look forward to using those more often. So we'll be using these 3 stamp sets. And if you're going to gift this to someone and they're not a stamper, they would be so proud of themselves just to do the cards simply as they're shown here. And then they could fill up their birthday organizer. So it comes with words in all different languages. Of course, I'm going to use the English, or you could pretend like you speak a different language. Ooh, anniversary? I think that's birthday still. And then for the girly card, it's your day. And look how they give you one for each. Maybe it's just 6 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, 6 cards. Still very generous. So let's make one of each of these cards and start with the let's start with the organizer. We haven't looked at that yet. Look at all this for the cards. Oh, and then I have my little inside liner paper. Oh, we'll need these. That's for the organizer. So, speaking of organizers, I have been using an organizer from Stampin' Up! From years ago. Might I even say a couple of decades ago. Look at this. Some of you are like, oh my gosh, I have that. And see, it has a little spiral binding. We went crazy on this. So each month I would say, okay, come to class. We could decorate one page and then we'll do class. But we put so much effort into this calendar. And then on the back, put an envelope and then a card for the people on here. But look at that one. This one is using Versamark, and then the chalk, you put the chalk over the Versamark, and the chalk sticks to the Versamark. Look how cute that is. This thing took so much time. This was before blends. We were coloring those with markers. Look at that one. That one was fun, getting a little artsy. Some of these, they still have cards in them. This one is really loaded. June. And I put anniversaries on here too. July, look at that. Isn't that pretty? That one has stuff in it. September for drinks. Those are little micro beads on there. Look at this one. I think that was doing the brayer. And then the white gel pen. Probably didn't need to go through all this, but I'm going to retire this one. Look at that. That is embossing resist. So embosses, so Versamark clear powder. No, first Mossy Meadow. Then Versamark clear powder right over the top. And then sponging it or daubering it to get the color on. We had a good time. But what is this? Do I have a gift card? A gift card. Oh my gosh. I need to work on that. Okay. Birthday calendar is getting a refresh. So in here, big spiral binding, and you could see how thick my old one got. So this has pockets for all of your January birthdays, extra pockets. And I saw a few people decorate the outside, and I thought, oh, I want to do that. But as much as I use it, as much as I use that other one, I think if I decorated the outside, I would ruin it from overuse. So I'm just going to leave it plain like this for now. Okay, so January. So these little stickers in, and I cut this in half, in whatever language. So when I was looking at it, and I don't know if you're kind of like this, do you put January in the middle, right up here, or in the middle of the paper? Because it would shift it over a little bit. So I looked at what Stampin' Up! Did. They did it, the words in the middle of the numbers. And once you get yours and you go to place it, you'll say, oh, I know what you're talking about. Okay, so January, February, middle, middle. And you just do that with all of them. And then I was thinking, you know, if it is July, I don't want to flip through all of them. So that's why I cut these apart. And I was thinking, can I do just like little mini tabs on the side? But I want them to be really small. Like just JA showing. But I don't want it to get hung up. So I'm going to try one. And when I was looking through these, it's like, what is JANU? I know that's not English, but if I just have the first two letters, I think it might work. And then I was also thinking, as with all my tabs, I used to do a lot of tabs. I like them to line up. So if this is about here, and I fold this back, get that lined up, and I just want the, maybe even just a little bit of it showing. Maybe I'll just set it down on top of there. Okay. JA, pull that off, and then JA, and I'm going to have the fold right between JA and, or just right here between A and N. I'm just going to cut this off. Otherwise, I'll just discard these. And I don't know if this is going to work. And I don't know if I could pull it up. Make sure it's just one. And then I'm going to fold it right between here and here. And then trying to make sure that it's parallel with the top and the bottom. Probably could score them first. That's sticking really good. JA. Okay, so how's that going to work? See, I think that's okay. Because if I open it up, I could go down and I could see what month and I could flip to it. Gosh, I hope that's going to work. If it doesn't work, you don't do it. I'll just do it. So then February, where would I put February? I should have thought this through before I started this. JA, FEBR, that's good. So February is going to be, but if you lift it up, so I think this has to be February. Okay, so for the lining up thing, what did I do? Set that. I'm not going to use that one because there's a MAR. Okay. Okay, so there. Now, this I'm going to line it up with the little sticker hole, line it up with the JA, I should have tried doing that score thing. FE, I wanted to fold right in between. FEB, I'm going to try to score it because the JA didn't come out all that good. Scorer. And a ruler. Okay, do it right. So I want the score to be, oh, that will line them right up. Okay. Oh, that's much better. Okay. So I'm going to continue with this little project I have going here. And I think it's kind of self-explanatory how to do the months, but let's see how that looks. See, I think that's going to work out good. January's right here, February, flip it over, it's there. Then I'll do March. I'll get it figured out. March, April. I'll get it figured out. Okay, so let's do the cards. I might just end up pulling those off. Who knows? Okay, so for the cards, let's start with the girly one. I should just, and I'm not using the tear tape. So I did an inside liner, which doesn't come with the kit, but I like an inside liner. So this one could be for the boy. Evening Evergreen. Soft Succulent for the girl. Card. White. Basic white cardstock. Okay, done with that. and dots for the boy, and kind of gingham for the girl. Okay, we're done with those. Then look at this, one of each. One sheet makes girl card, boy card. Okay, so when you look at that flower and this leaf, are you like, I forgot to color that. Maybe it's just part of the abstract thing, but ooh, that's challenging. Done with this. So I'm going to color it a bit. And an envelope for each girl, because the girl has this band right here, and boy envelope. Done with that. Punch out one of these. Okay. Okay, so I just have to. A little bit of coloring, just a little bit. And I'm going to try to do it like they did this one. See, I'm being abstract. It's such a challenge. I want to color in the lines. And I love math. When I'm cutting paper and there's all these fractions, it's like, what is 3 3/8 plus? I love that stuff. I even have a little cheat sheet for card cutting basics. Like, well, what is 6 of 1 7/8? It's 11 1/4. Of course. I use that thing all the time. At first I had it on a big Post-it, and I used it all the time. It's like, I could do better than this. As much as I use it, I can make it a little bit nicer. So years ago, I reproduced it, typed it up. I don't even think I know where it is. We've gone through 2 computers. I don't think I have it anymore. Okay, soft succulent. Just a hint of color. Okay, I'm going to try to leave it just like that. Okay, let's start building the card. That's boy. Envelope. Oh, you know, let me do the envelope. So on this one, I stamped the cottage rose in Memento since I had the markers out. So Memento, and note to self, the less you stamp, the less you have to color. Then I want to do that little leaf so I have a mask. I love this cottage rose stamp set. I did it as a Gotta Have It box months ago. Okay, good. And now, just a hint of color on the green, Evening Evergreen. My heart is telling me, color it to the lines, color it all the way. But in the end, it does match this card kit. Birthday Organizer card kit. I think it was Shelley who said, I have a friend who's interested in stamping. Where do I start? And my first thought, well, of course, because it was sitting right here beside me, was, oh, I smeared it, was this, because you don't even have to stamp. If you're a fancy girl and you're a stamper, of course you will. But do you know how accomplished they would feel? And it's useful. I was just looking at this like, oh my gosh, I already did it. I need to stamp on the inside of the card too. Oh, and you know what? There's a tip I meant to tell you. That is, if you color with the blends on any paper other than like cardstock, particularly envelopes, it'll bleed through. So take something and tuck it in there, and now we're safe. Whew. Okay, so this is Evening Evergreen Light. Do you all have a birthday organizer? Or how do you keep track of birthdays? And you know, with that organizer, I should be much better at keeping track, but I'm not. Sometimes I look at it and it's like, 2 months have gone by. Whose birthday did I miss? I'm terrible. And I even have cards picked out for him. Yeah. Okay, flower. Petal pink, just where the petal comes out from the flower bud, way in the center. And it's abstract. I'm starting with the dark. I always like to start with the dark. Just a splash of color. Kind of excited to show you those my gold dots. So on stage last week, Shelley stamped something, I think it was similar to Cottage Rose, and she stamped it with just a regular dye-based ink, and then before it dried, she sprinkled on gold embossing powder. Just in a few areas, just like we're going to do today. But I'm going to use Versamark. But she did it with just regular dye-based ink, which normally you would say, no, you have to use Versamark or craft ink for the powder to stick. But if you're quick enough, you could do it with Balmy Blue and then just have hints of gold all over it. Smoky Slate, I'm just going to do just a little bit. Few dots there in the top, and then just leave it like that. Okay, so the envelope is done. It has dimensionals in it. Come on out. Okay, and this is a sample. This is a sample. I'm getting so confused. Excuse me. That's that one. Okay, here we go. Sometimes it's hard. It's hard to be me. I've got stuff everywhere. Confusing myself. Okay. So, those are inside papers. This goes on. And they provide tear tape. So if you're getting this as a kit, you don't need to have adhesive. But I've become quite friendly with Stamp and Seal. I like Stamp and Seal. I like my liquid glue too. And this goes right in the middle. Okay, and then I'm going to put dimensionals, and they provide dimensionals. I probably should use those. Dimensionals and glue dots. You could stick stuff on with glue dots too. And I'm going to put dimensionals in the center only, enough to hold it on, just because I want to tuck in the leaves. These are magic dimensionals. I have to pull off the paper. So this is going to sit right about there. Isn't that beautiful? And then these, I think I might put them on with liquid glue So there's a little bit of dimension where it makes it look like the flower is sticking up. Aren't you happy I colored those? If you have this kit, are you going to color them? Okay, and then for the words, I'm going to do something a little different there because they're already, it's like a sticker. It's sticky. So I want this part sticky, this part here not sticky. So I'm going to get my embossing buddy, put that part in there a few times. It's less and less sticky. So I could put a dimensional on it. Okay, so this can go right about there. Isn't that nice? It's like it's stunning. I love that. And a few sparkles. Because I'm not using them for the boy card, I could probably go crazy and put a lot of them on here. But the directions, I think they say do 5. So at this point I'll do 5. Maybe I'll go back and I'll add more. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4, 5. Okay. Outside is done. So for the inside, it's going to be fab. And I'll do that in Memento. I'll get it straight. I think on the boy card, I had to trim it. Then, a little bit of the rose. Okay, I'm going to try to do less, so I don't have so much coloring to do. Is it possible? Because it's so pretty. Okay, and then a little mask. I like that branch. And then some abstract coloring. Petal pink, dark. I have class today. I'm looking forward to it. I like seeing the girls. And you know, sometimes if you don't wait for Memento ink to dry and you get right to coloring, I kind of smudged it a bit. Or it's like it smears just a bit. Right down there. I think anyone receiving this card though, they wouldn't look at it and say, oh, the ink smeared, what happened? I think they'd just be happy because it's so pretty. There, that's nice. And a hint of smoky slate, just to kind of make that less bright white. Just a little bit. On this one, I colored it all the way in. It's like, I maybe shouldn't have done that. Okay, then a hint of evergreen. I want to color the stem in too. But they didn't. So every Sunday we have family dinner, and Thanksgiving is coming up. That's a whole lot of family time. So we decided this Sunday to do pizza. And I know that was Kathy's idea, because we normally don't do pizza. But I think Grampy he's got a cold or something, so I don't know if it's going to happen. So Tony and David are like, let's go to Cottage Grove, and let's go to that Bon Mi place, because that's sandwiches and they have all kinds of interesting things. And I'm like, it all sounds good. So I don't know what we're going to do. Do you do a big Thanksgiving table and do all kinds of cooking and everything? Liquid glue. I probably should have used my stamp and seal. This little cardboard thing is perfect placemat. Okay, do the stamp and seal. It's quicker. Okay, so are you ready to try this new little, it's probably not new, this Shelley technique for putting a hint of gold on a stamp? Look how pretty. Okay, those are done. The envelopes are done. Girl card done. I don't know what I'm thinking about the my little tabs idea. I don't know. Okay, so I'm going to stamp it on here. Well, let's get all the pieces together first. So, inside papers. And this one is going to go here. This is going to go here. So, to put the hint of gold on here, it's not that hard. And I'm going to put it here, and I'm going to put it on the inside. Three shots at this. Big background stamp called, I think, hand-drawn dots. Hand-drawn dots. At first I thought that's just too bold. That looks like animal prints. But I like this. Okay, so Versamark. And this goes on here. And it doesn't have to be straight because the dots are a random pattern. We'll be doing this again on these two other pieces. Let me get my new little embossing toolkit. Okay, so getting embossing powder into my fingernails, don't like it. But this is worth it. So I'm putting it really light over there, and then a few spots a little bit heavy. And I'll hold this up close here in just a minute. Maybe on one of these 6 cards I'll do it like solid heavy gold spots. But I just wanted it to be just a hint of gold. And you know what inspired this, I think, is the Season of Chic designer paper. And just knock off the excess, because there's like a petal pink paper that has these kind of spots on it. Then this stamp set came out, or the stamp, big background stamp. Okay, so I don't know if you could tell, it's not everywhere. Okay, but we have a little bit more to do. So on the envelope, same thing. Versa mark. And I want it to be just down here. Just like that. Oh, you could see it better on this. They're not doing much. Some places are heavy. And you know what? Let me do it on here too. Then I'll cook both of them at one time. Inside paper, want it to be here. And it's okay if you don't get full coverage of the dots, because a lot of them will just be transparent. Okay, that's all that's to it. Okay, we are done with the envelope. And inside, I have to put some words on that. Okay, so it's time to start putting stuff together. And because I heat embossed this, mine is kind of curvy. So this might be a good time to use the tear tape, or the glue dots. I'm going to put one in each corner. Because when I did the sample card, it was kind of lifting and curling and twisting up a little bit. So this goes right at the top. And if you don't get it perfectly lined up and you see a little bit of the white card base showing through, you could take your snips and just trim that. Like if you see it showing through, you could just trim along there. And because this one wasn't heat embossed, I'm not worried about this one sticking down nice and flat. Okay. And now, the words. Well, here's a sample. Happiest birthday. And I want to put some ribbon on the underside of this. So good thing it's sticky, because usually I put dimensionals on there and then try to put the ribbon in the dimensionals. It's convenient. So I kind of had the gold theme going, and there's so many beautiful gold ribbons, any of the ones that you have. I think this is retired, the fine art, but you can use any ribbons you have that have a hint of gold. So I like how that is. This I want about in the middle. So I'm not worried about what it looks like on the underside, just on the top. Then a few dimensionals, then I'll trim that ribbon. Okay, one more. Oops. Didn't cut all the way through. I'll make it shorter. Okay, and now I was thinking about putting some gold type, like maybe even champagne rhinestones, but the black matte lends itself, I think, to the masculine. So I'll do just 3 of these. I like it there where it shows up. 1, 2, 3. Then the inside, all we need is the words. So this is happiest birthday. Oh, and I like this about like stretching your birthday out. I didn't forget your birthday. I'm just stretching out the celebration. Yeah. Now with our birthday organizer, there'll be no need for forgetting. And the birthday organizer, when you put the names in, do them in, well, I'm just thinking of if you want one for home, friends, one for family, one for office. But sometimes at the office, people, I did that crooked. I'm gonna cut it. It's just good to do it in pencil. Not saying you would never become not friends with someone. Okay, it's going to be a little smaller, but it's going to be straight. Better. So the kits are available for while supplies last. So if you're liking this one, I'll put a link in my blog, and my blog is jillybling.com. Get it while you can, because I hate for you to miss out. It's really cute. It's well built too. And I don't know about my little divider idea. You'll see in the blog picture if they're still there or not. I don't know. It's a good thought, but I don't know if it's going to last. Look at that. Isn't that just nice and fresh? Okay, so that is it for today. Birthday organizer, come here. And I hope you have a great day. Bye.